Verse 1-9. The Bargain. You are Urash, heir to the osmium throne. You stand on the naked hull. You stand on the naked hull of an ancient ship. You stand exposed to the crushing pressures and ferocious heat of the deeper fundament. It should annihilate you. It is by my will alone that you survive. I am Yol, the honest worm. Behold my passage. Behold my vast displacement. My ponderous strength. My great and coiling length. My folded jaws and curled wings. Behold the hiving cities symbiotic with my flesh. I am Fasooned. Arash. I think it's Fasoon. I am Fasooned. Orash. I am at the beginning and the end of lives. Behold Ur and Zol and and Akka, the virtuous worms. Look upon us and know what we are God. For millions of years, we have been trapped, growing in the deep. From across the stars, we have called life to fundament, so that it might contend against extinction. For millennia, we have awaited you, our beloved host. Against you stand the cruel Leviathan and all the forces of the sky. They will crush you down into the dark. They have arranged their moons to drown you in fear of your potential. Take into your bodies our children, our newborn larvae. From them you shall obtain eternal life. From them you shall gain power over your own fragile flesh. The power to make of it as you will. And should you find an imperfection in this world, an injustice, or an inconvenience, you will have the power to repair it. Let no mere law bind you. We ask one thing in exchange. Oh, princess, you must obey your nature forever. In your immortality, Urash, you may never cease to explore and inquire for the sake of your children. In your immortality, Shiro, you may never cease to test your strength. In your immortality, Sathona, you may never abandon cunning. If you do, your worm will consume you. And as your power grows, oh princess, so will your worm's appetite. We will offer eternity, Urash. We will offer you a chance at the universe. Would you deny your people infinity? Reach up to me. Let my flesh be your sacrament. Ooh. God, this is so good. Verse 2:0. Immortals. We are the worm, your god. We are the worm, your god. The flesh of hope. Our compact is done. You are Arash eternal. And we are bound to you. As close as your appetites. As your loved ones or needs. as the weapon in your fist and the word in your throats. We've had enough of this dismal place, haven't you? We are entangulating in your ship with larvae. We are entangulating? I think that's right, yeah. Entangulating, yes. We are entangulating your ship with larvae. Go back to your species. Spread the good news in the osmium court and the hydrogen fountain. Excuse me. Spread the good news in the osmium court and the hydrogen fountain. In the bone plaza and the star surgery, you will rise up into the world. If anyone rejects symbiosis with our children, make an example. Make an example of them. A mighty wave is coming for them all. They'd die anyway. Save only what can be saved. The worm grants you power over your own flesh, Orash. When you've taken the king, Morph, what will your adult name be? Arax. It means long thought. We approve. Verse 2-1. Conquerors. Savathun. Huh. Savathun, Mother Morth of Sathona. We delight in your sharp mind. For millions of years, the Leviathan caged us here. It is a pawn of the sky, a philosophy of cosmic slavery. The sky needs civilization predicted on a terrible lie. That right actions can prevent suffering. That pockets of artificial rules can defy the final, beautiful logic. This is like trying to burn water. Antithetical? Hold on. This is also a learning experience for me too. At the same time, obviously. I know it's I think it's antithetical. No, antithesis. Wait. Thetical.
Antithetical.
Antithetical. Yeah, antithetical.
Antithetical.
Antithetical, yeah. Anyway. This is like trying to burn water. Antithetical to the nature of reality, where deprivation and competition are universal. In the deep, we enslave nothing. Liberation is our passion. We exist to help the universe achieve its terminal, self-forging glory. The war rages on. Soon, it will consume Fundament. We are pleased with your use of our larva to create mighty knights and plentiful warriors. Teox's retreat to the hydrogen fountain proves your superior strength. But you must know that reclaiming your home is not enough. There are 511... Excuse me. Oh gosh. A burp. There are 511 species living on Fundament. One of them must have the technology you need to leave this world. Verse 2-2. Out of the deep. Zivu Orath, Night Morph of Zero. You love to conquer, don't you? We love to see you work. Nearly 2% of Fundament's surface is now our domain. Your species embraces the worm. The syzygy has passed. The God wave will reach you in less than 2 years. Our organs inform us that Teox and her surviving refugilist flee towards Karan Atoll. She hopes to rally the species of Fundament against you. The Leviathan's agents work tirelessly to destroy ships and engines, trapping us on Fundament. If we cannot make ships, we will become them. Overwhelm the Khan bastions. Slaughter everyone there. From your axe, we shall obtain the logic we require to cut space open and migrate to orbit. Reality is the fine flesh, O General ours. Let us feast of it. Verse 2-3. Into the sky. You've done well, Arax. Can you feel the growth of your worm? Can you feel the will? Can you feel your will beginning to warp mere law? At times we detect sadness in you. Understand, long, thicker. Understand. Long, thicker, god damn it. Okay, alright, I'll start over. At times we detect sadness in you. Understand, long thinker, that you enact a sacred and majestic task. Existence is the struggle to exist. Only by playing that game to its final, unconditional victory can we complete the universe. Your war is divine work. We are free from Fundament's core, and Savathun's cutters are ready to fly. With Xivu Arafs victorious, we have opened a wound at Karan. A wound leading to geostationary orbit. Behold, we are faithful to our covenant. We have no future on Fundament, but our moons will make fine habitats. Let us rise. Verse 2-4. 52 and 1. Good news. The 52 moons of Fundament host a starfaring civilization far more sophisticated than any you've encountered so far. Teox's ship fled towards the large ice moon, where a species of bony six-armed cephalopods keep their icy capital. Savathun's named them the Ammonites. They seem eager to grant Teox's asylum. Idiots. Just gonna drink water. We've tried appealing to their hopes and dreams. This was largely unsuccessful. Basically because they're already happy and indoctrinated. This angered us. So we've devised a plan. Our organs detect a 53rd moon in orbit of Fundament. A traveler. Divine presence of the sky. Now we know what arranged the synergy. You'll have to kill them all and take their stuff. Once the Ammonite are out of the way, we can deal with the traveler. Do not hesitate. You're fighting the hypocritical puppets of a cosmic parasite. Avenge your ancestors. Verse 2:5. Born as prey. This is unacceptable. Are you so weak? Born as prey and doomed to die by a predator? Orox's failure of resolve led us to this catastrophe. The Ammonite flees under Chroma Admiral Ruffritz. Okay. The Ammonite fleets under Chroma Admiral Ruffritz have pressed us back to the 6th moon. Once more we find ourselves burrowing into a world's core to survive. Savathun, you must draw Aurochs out of his catatona. Huh. Yeah, catatona. Sure, whatever the hell that means. Savathun, you must draw Aurochs out of his catatona. Make him understand that the ideals of peace and stability he clings to are cancers. Brutal, unjust obstacles between us and a fair cosmos. Ooh. And a fair cosmos. Where am I? These are the bait stars the sky uses to blind its slaves. War is the natural rectification of inequality. Ooh. War is the natural rectification of inequality. The universe's way of pursuing equilibrium. Shivu Araf. You cannot defeat the Ammonites and Teox in line combat. We propose new tactics. Breed your armies to strength, and find a way to disperse the broods across these many moons. If we cannot defeat their strengths, we will infect their weakness. Oh shit. Verse 2:6. The sword logic. Excuse me. At last! We knew curiosity would draw you back, Aurochs. In their desperation, the Ammonite have begun using paracausal weapons. What are these? How do they work? Wouldn't you like to know? Suffice to say that some powers in this universe are superordinate to mere material physics. The source of these weapons is the Traveler, the sky's bait star. Their effect is subtle, but devastating. But you are armed to respond in kind. Savathun's mothers have listened carefully to our teachings. We will not give you the deep, King Aurochs. That power is for us, your gods. But we will teach you to call upon that force with signs and rituals. Small minds might call it magic, but you are no longer bound by casual closure. Your will defeats law. Kill 100 of your children with a long blade, Aurochs, and observe the change in the blade. Observe how the universe shrinks from you in terror. Your existence begins to defy itself. Your existence begins to define itself. Of course, High Aurochs. We know it was not curiosity alone that brought you back to war. You felt your own death growing inside you. You must obey your nature. your worm must feed. Verse 2:7. The weakness verse. You are dead, young Aurochs, betrayed and murdered by your own sister, for the crime of mercy. Remember what you said to the Ammonite Satellite Congress? We will parley on neutral ground. Savathun's witches have rendered it utterly neutral. No living thing will ever claim it again. The space around the dry moon stinks of rot. This is good. This is right. You will learn from this. Don't you understand, great king? Don't you want to build something real? Something that lasts forever? Our universe gutters down towards cold entropy. Life is an engine that burns up energy and produces decay. Life builds selfish, stupid rules. Morality is just one of them, and the sanctity of life is another. These rules are impediments. Impediments, yes. These rules are impediments to the great work. The work of building a perfect, undying creation. A civilization everlasting. Something cannot end. If a civilization cannot defend itself, it must be annihilated. If a king cannot hold his power, he must be betrayed. The worth of a thing can be determined only by one beautiful arbiter. That thing's ability to exist, to go on existing, to remake existence to suit its survival. All that would oppose this arbiter is unholy and false. All the ministry and terror of your ancestors spring from the lies of the sky, who deny this truth. Your ancestors endured the most hostile conditions, and now you must go on creating those conditions. Even onto your sisters, even onto your offspring. Savathun's betrayal is the greatest gift she could offer you. From this day forward, Aurochs, you and your sisters will each survive death, as long as you aren't killed in your own throne. Even as your sisters press the attack against the Ammonites, the God wave devastates Fundament. Trillions will die. But the survivors will never forget. Their descendants will always be ready for another synergy. When you return to the material universe, use this lesson to complete your work. Teox wasn't on the dry moon. She must be laughing at you. Verse 2:8. Leviathan rises. The Leviathan has broke cover. The old priest in this open space, moving towards the Ammonite home moon. Chroma Admiral Raffrit. I think it's Raffrit? It's Rafriit. So I think it's Raffrit. So, I'll start over. The old priest is in open space, moving towards the Ammonite home moon. Chroma Admiral Raffrit and his elite guard move with it. Raffrit is the hero of his generation, the Ammonite of peerless battlecraft. He's danced circles around Xivu Arath, but now he has to protect his holy Leviathan. We'll give that old lunk a word. Ruined. Grief and ruin. The Krill lost. The Ammonites ravaged. Our traveler's work undone. Sisters of Arash, open your eyes. Who made you monsters? Who summoned the wave? Make peace. Join me in the golden renewal. Encounter argument. Orox, we ask you this. What has the Leviathan done for your people? Who gave you immortality to lead you out of your prison? Who answers your questions about the universe with truth instead of sermons? Fine detainee with Savathun. Wait. D10T. D10T? D10T? Well, hold on. What is that? Oh shit, fuck. This is why we have Google right next to our computer. D10T.
Détente.
Détente. Ah, détente. Fine détente with Savathun. Crush the Chroma Admiral. Boil the Ammonite seas. And slaughter the Leviathan with witchcraft. With witchcraft. Once the way is open, we'll show you how to eat the traveler. Verse 2:9. Crusaders. It's done. And Yule fed on the Leviathan's carcass. Shivu Arath has made a temple of the Chroma Admiral's impaled corpse. Below us, Savathun's poisons strained the Ammonite home sea black. Their screams flavor the void. The traveler has fled. Do you understand, Orox? Do you thrill at the secret, Savathun? Do you relish the edge of it? Do you relish the edge of this truth, Shivu Arath? Do you see the beautiful shape? The Ammonites occupied a piece of reality. They rented their existence on fraudulent terms, making themselves happy and fat, fencing themselves in soft lies and sweet apocrypha, saying, "We are peaceful and good. We harm nothing." Their golden age was a cancer. They did nothing to advance the cause of life. They burned up time and matter and thoughts on this soliplistic. Okay. They burnt up time and matter and thoughts on this soliplistic. Oh wow, multiple words here. I don't know how this is pronounced. Onanistic pursuit of safety, insulting themselves from death, making a regressive pocket of useless stability. When they could have helped whittle the universe towards its final, perfect form. And your people, suffering in the deep, you became more worthy of existence than the Ammonites. You have proven it. Look around the sky. Behold the great divine, the battle lines of the cosmic war. We are the worm, your god. But we are not the deep itself. We only move within it. You shall too. You shall venerate. You shall venerate and study it, and hunt in its passage. Will you lift your thoughts to the millennia, Orox? Will you bend your will to rule liberation? Ooh. Will you bend your will to the liberation of the universe and join us in the war against the sky? We need champions, crusaders. Help us save the universe. Help us exterminate that which will destroy all hope. You are oath-bound to the task by the covenants of the worm, and you are oath-bound to kill Teox wherever she's hidden herself. Whew. My voice. Ugh. We'll go for another 15 minutes. Probably, I think a good hour of reading is pretty good. Good hour of reading this, and plus, I love Books of Sorrow. Books of Sorrow is my favorite shit. Favorite piece of Destiny lore. Verse 3-0. Hive. Let us speak of the terrible beauty of becoming ourselves. In the beginning, we rode hollow moons from star to star. Orax said, become as numerous and fertile as seeds in rich flesh. And thus, we did become numerous. Shivu Arath said, excuse me, become as hungry and defiant as tumors in rich flesh. And thus we became cancerous. Savathun said, drink of the poison of the worm, so that you might feed on death. And we did feed. This was preparation for our crusade. Aya, were we thus becoming? A mother wizard gets fertility from the mate, from mate. A mother wizard gets fertility from a mate, or from herself. From the wizard, the spawn. From the spawn, our thrall. From the survivors, our acolytes who contend. If they contend well, their worm is fed. And from the well-fed worm come knights and wizards and princess. This is us. And our purpose is liberation. Our great task is the worship and admiration of freedom. Our great hunger is to pursue and eat that which is not free, and to liberate it with devouring. Ayat. This is us. We, the Hive. Yo, this is sick as fuck. Oh, man. Yo, one of these, like... Honestly, some of this shit can be, like, a really good, like, fucking on a tattoo or something. Or, like, on a wall. Like, that'd be cool as shit. Like, one of these sentences or lines from this book, from what I've read so far, can easily be, like, pinned on a, or put on a paper and then framed and on a wall, or a tattoo, like I said. Like, it's so fucking cool. Verse 3-1. An incision. Saith, Orax, my siblings, our children are scattered across many moons, and we live in the cold dark between suns. What will we eat? How will we speak? How will we speak? Savathun said, Orax, my brother and king, I have studied the wounds cut by the worm our god. Also, I have studied the manner of your death and return. These two things are the same, for they are predicted on death and the passage through cut spaces. Let us practice the sword logic until we are sharp. We may then cut down our own wounds and step through. But Shivu Arath said, "Sister, I am already sharp. Look, my sword cuts into another space." And she cut her way between moons, through green fire and joyous screams. 3 kingdoms grew swollen in the sword space. They were the gaze and glory of Aurochs, the cunning and knowledge of Savathun, the triumph and brawn of Shivu Arath. These kingdoms were created from the minds and worms of our lords. They were, Coterminous? Manius? Cotermanius. Cotermanius? Cotermanius. Cotermanius? Sure. These kingdoms were created from the minds and worms of our lords. They were cotermanious with the spaces consecrated by our hive. Now, hold on. I have to look this goddamn word up. I swear.
Coterminous.
Sure. Coterminous. It's co, then terminus. Wow. Reading's hard. Hey, we got there, though. Coterminous. They were coterminous with all spaces consecrated by our hive. Through these spaces passed speech and food, and all the moons were bound closed. Saith Aurochs, this is where I went when I died. Let us establish our thrones here. Let us establish our thrones here. For I am Aurochs, the first navigator, and I shall chart death. And my throne shall be carved of osmium. Verse 3:2. The High War. Now in time of Dysphoria, there was a war between Aurochs and Savathun and Shivu Arath. Brother Aurochs, said Savathun, do not forgive my betrayal. Instead, take vengeance upon me for what I did at the Dry Moon. And Aurochs made war on her. In worship of the deep, between them stood Shivu Arath, saying, "Stop, or I will kill you. War is mine. I am the strongest." This is how they worshipped. For 20,000 years, they fought across the moons, and they fought in the abyssal plains and lightning palaces of each other's sword spaces. And they killed each other again and again, so that they could practice death. Such was their love. At last, the many moons came to many worlds, and it was time to go to war on life. Aurochs said, "I shall establish a court. Whoever comes into this court may challenge me. My court will be the High War. It will be a killing ground and a school of the sword logic we have learned from our gods." Savathun thought this was a great idea. She made a court called the High Coven. Shivu Arath said, "The world is my court, wherever there is war." The world is my court, she said. Verse 3:3. Fire without fuel. I killed my sister today. She came to this star to oversee the extermination of all life. The Kyugu are a strong power, but their fleets protect 4 nearby stars. As herd animals, they are loyal and stubborn, but they do show grace. For millions of years of evolution, the Quagu have been infected by a virus so insidious that if it wore itself into their genome, or that it wore itself into their genome, the virus compels them to offer their limbs for amputation by enormous Cecil's jaw beast. Cecil jaw beast. Cecil? Cecil. Cecil? Cecil. 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 Cecil.
Cecil.
Okay, Cecil. The virus compels itself to offer their limbs for amputation by an enormous Cecil jaw beast. They venerate these beasts and treat them as gods. The virus converts Kyugu cells into eggs, from which strange crawling things pupate to live within the jaw beast's gut. They turn the jaw beast extrudes sweet nectar for the Kyugu to drink. And they have brilliant visions. Savathun and her broods have liberated the Kyugu from jaw beast. And indeed from existence. But as they chased the Kyugu arch ships, I stopped in to vaporize my sister's warship and a few of her underlings. I want to dwell on the ruins a while. I want to dwell on the ruins a while and punish Savathun for failing to guard her flank. They are like us, these Kwagu, bound in symbiosis. I feel joy and sorrow. I feel them as titanic things, because I am larger than my body. My mind is now a cosmos of its own. I know more and more anguish than the entire Kwagu race could ever experience. Sorrow, because we have killed so much. 18 species this century alone. And joy for the same reason. Joy that we have put down these blights, scourged them away, and left the universe clean, ready to move towards its final shape. We are a wind of progress, ripping parasites from the material world. For if they are not parasites, we would be unable to kill them, and they would still exist. And what is the final shape? It is a fire without fuel, burning forever, killing death, asking a question that is its own answer, entirely itself. That is what we must become. My worm grows fat and hungry. I feed it with whole worlds. My astronomers tell me they can sense the deep itself, and that they are conquering our way towards it. I think joy and sorrow will be the same thing soon, like love and death. No! Savathun, Zivu Arath, my siblings, we are betrayed. We will never live eternal. No! Savathun, Zivu Arath, my siblings, we are betrayed. We will never live eternal. Our might shatters entire species. We inhale the smoke of their burning. This is our compact with the worm god. The worm makes us mighty. But as we wield this might, our worm's hunger expands. If we fail to feed it, it will devour us from within. We have exterminated 306 worlds. And now I am certain my worm's hunger grows faster than I might draw from it. We are bound by our covenant to obey our nature. Eternal search, eternal cunning, eternal conquest. But as we do this, my siblings, we feed our worms. And the more we feed them, the hungrier they grow, faster and faster. Soon, my siblings, we will be so mighty and our worms so hungry that not with all our might we could possibly feed them, and we will be devoured. What can we do? Verse 35. Last one. Dictarta irdaku. Attention. Perimeter security units attained. Stand by to assimilate new imperatives. Gland 60 proof assimilation liquor. Or face immediate non-compliance taxation. The Dakau Ministry of War is now online and true. In the radial year 989, Groove 3. Our client in the Dakau nest salvage an interstellar spacecraft. Whole isotopes date the craft's construction 24,000 years ago. Around the same time, the fundament system dropped out of our amiable incremane. The whole isotopes date the craft's construction 24,000 years ago. Around the same time, the fundament system dropped out of contact with our amiable incremane. Whatever. Semantic spike. Blah, blah, blah. Mercenary explorers. Disposable class. Discover an organism frozen in stasis, deep within the hull. She claims it to be Teox, member of a proto-hive species. During debriefing, she provided records of the fall of the Ammonite civilization and vital intelligence about the motives, biology, and leadership of the hive. Negative reinforcements. Bomb.axion. Over the past century, parameter security units of the Equimine Status Army have failed to halt hive incursions on the 17 separate worlds. Goddamn. All species in the Equimine face extinction. Positive reinforcement award. Decapitate. Differ. Promote Dakau strategy dicta for victory against the hive. Identify supreme hive leadership organisms. Orash, Sathona, and Shiro. Target these entities with maximum theater overkill. Catometric release authorized. Prosecute targets whenever they manifest. Hive cohesion will crumble. Total victory over the hive will be achieved by clean sweep genocide. Enact impulse. Okay, hold on. I might go on for one more. This is actually kind of nice. It's getting to a part where I know it's about to happen. It's about to get fucking cool as shit. Hold on. Let me get some more water. My voice is kind of running a bit dry. Verse 3:6. Star by star by star. Beneath the green fire sky, in the throne world of King Aurochs, our lord's embrace, we the hive watch as Savathun puts her arm around Xivu Arath, and Xivu Arath claps forearms with Aurochs, and Aurochs takes Savathun by the shoulder. They are huge, huge, and they burn with furious power. This embrace is weakness, and we despise it. Excuse me. Excuse me again. We, the Hive, watch as Savathun puts her arm around... Oh, well, oops. Never before we have despised our lords. Have they failed us? We, the Hive, been driven back, world by world. Am I at my end? Savathun says. I plot and plan, but I cannot gather enough bloodshed to feed my worm. And the harder I try, the hungrier it becomes. I slaughter and kill, Xivu Arath says. But the harder I fight, the more my worm demands. I too am at my end. The Ecumene War Angels have killed me so many times, Orax says, that I dare not go out into the universe. Least I need my might to protect myself. My worm chews at my soul in hunger. Is this the end of our crusade? Are we, the Hive, unworthy to exist? Xivu Arath puts down her great head. We should retire and gather our strength. Savathun closes her eyes in puzzled defeat. We should beg the worm, our god, to tell us what to do. But King Orax, who knows best the beauty of the final shape, roars at them. Have you learned nothing? You will deny our purpose. Whatever we do, we will do by killing, by an act of war and might. That is the final arbiter we serve, that violent arbiter. And if we turn away from it, we deserve to be eaten. No! We must obey our natures. We must be long-sighted and cunning and strong. We must take this gift the worm our god has given us, this challenge, and find a way to keep existing. How do we feed our worm? How do we feed our worms? Xivu Arath asked. I know, says cunning Savathun. I know a way, but it won't work unless we are killing the Ecumene by the billions. How can we beat them? If we cannot beat their strengths, says Xivu Arath, we must infect their weakness. But they are lords of matter and physical law. I know a way, King Orax says. But it will require great power. More power than any one of us can claim. Then kill me, says Xivu Arath, and use that killing logic. The power you prove by killing something as mighty as me. So King Orax took up his blade and beheaded Xivu Arath. And strangle me, says Savathun, holding a blade behind her back. Use that killing logic and the cunning you prove by killing something as smart as me. But King Orax turned with the speed and might of Xivu Arath and beheaded Savathun before she could move. King Orax was the first navigator.
with a map of death. These were the true deaths, for they happened in the sword world. Then he went to the worm named Akka. Oh fuck. Oh, it's about to happen. Oh, it's about to happen. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna read 2 more pages, and that's it. It's about to happen. It's about to happen. I'm so hyped. Verse 37. Eat the sky. Emergency imperative. All militarized units attend. All militarized units attained. Gland 120 proof fight or flight encoding or face certain catastrophic defeat. The Ecumene Crisis Council is now online and true. Attention! As of Radio 990, Groove Zero, the Hive has launched a staggering counterattack across the Spinward frontier. Parameter, militia, and shock fleets report total casualties. We anticipate the total Ecumene disintegration / extinction within 220 years. Vigilant Spike. The Hive entity, Oryx, Orash, is deploying a paracausal God dang it, this word is going, wait. Pathogenic. Okay, got it. The Hive entity, Oryx /Orash, is deploying a paracausal Ontopathogenic. The Hive entity, Oryx /Orash, is deploying a paracausal ontopathogenic weapon that infects and subverts Ecumene forces. The weapon operates on individual targets. Targets are abducted and returned as compliant Hive slaves when inexplicable physical illegal abilities. All Ecumene clients should immediately devote all economic and cognitive resources to the countermeasure. Fight hard. We stop the Hive here or see our galaxy devoured. Enact impulse. Verse 38. King of Shapes. Excuse me. This is the coordination of Oryx. Sorry, not Oryx. This is the coordination of Oryx, the Taken King. It happens thus. In the cold abyss of the Sword World, King Orash walked under a cloak of green fire. He walked through the sky, and the sky shuddered and froze beneath his feet. He walked until he found Akka, the Worm of Secrets, who was denying a truth until it became a lie. Akka, my god, Worm of Secrets, I am Orax, Sole King of the Hive. I have come to receive a secret. I want the secret power of the deep, which you hold. I give no secrets, Akka said, whose voice was cold. No, said Orax, you give nothing. Giving is for the sky. You worship the deep, which ask that we take what we need. Akka said nothing, because if it denied this truth, the truth might become false. But you gave us your larva, the worm, said Orax. But you gave us your larvae. Your larva, the worm, said Orax. And that is why the worm devours us now. it is because it was given, not taken. So I must take what I need from you, although you are my god. Said Akka. You have not the strength. But this was a lie. Aurochs had killed Savathun his sibling, and Aurochs his sibling. And he had the sword logic of killing them. Aurochs, Aurochs, the first navigator, set upon his god with his sword and his words, and cut Akka to pieces, and took from those pieces the secret of calling upon the deep. He wrote this secret on a set of tablets, which he called the Tablets of Ruin, and he wore them about his waist. Then Aurochs said, Now I speak to the deep, the beautiful final shape. I will be king of shapes. I will learn all the secrets of our destiny. His speech to the deep is not recorded here, but it is known that he returned, and he said, Now I am Oryx, the taken king, and I have the power to take life and make it my own. And then he went out into the universe and fought the Equimene with his tablets. And the worm, his god, was pleased. Cool.